wrote it, and I mean, it was just terrible. And it got to the point that we was like, okay, all right. So we used to go in there anyhow, and we figured, well, since we're gonna come up in here, because it's the only place to eat, so we used to go in there and we used to sing the song. Just like we sat there waiting for our food, we just, this one boy from Mississippi, I'll never forget, his name was Charles Borgett, older gentleman, he was my supervisor. He the one started it. We was in there, and this song, like I said, every other word was the N-word. You know, just totally degrading. A Cadillac in the front yard in a one-bedroom shack with 50 N-words living in it, and it was just terrible. And so Charles, we were standing there one day, and Charles started humming it, and then we all kind of looked and kind of laughed. So, and we heard it every time we went in there. No, as soon as we walk in,
they turn it on.
Right. So, and I'm sure they probably listened to it when we wasn't in there too. But so we just started singing because we were telling them we ain't going out of here, and we coming back down here tomorrow night to get some lunch, And we were taking a leave though. But so we just started singing it.
Now, what year was this? Do you remember?
I'm going to say 70, late 60s. Maybe mid-60s, because I'm terrible when it comes thinking back with years. Okay. But because, I can be more precise when you can figure it out. I got married when I was just turning 18. So I think I started that part-time job when I was like 19, between 19 and 20. I was like 19 and 20.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I was born in the 40s, 46.
Okay.
So, and it was like an ongoing joke. We went every night to get what we wanted to get, and they would play that song, and we would sit there waiting, and we would hum it and sing it.
What did the policemen do?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Well, that was the moral of the story. Nothing. Waiting for us to probably do something so he could lock us up.
Yeah.
And so we just totally just ignored it. Because now it's at the stage now to where we made fun of certain things, right in front of their faces. Like, if you think that's going to stop me from coming in here, you can forget it. Play your song, as long as you don't put your hands on me,
Right.
But like the Fairfax was pretty rough, but I think Manassas was about the worst.
And what made Manassas the worst? Well,
Manassas was more of a country town versus Fairfax. And it was, I won't say more whites, because I don't know about the map, but let me just speak on terms of Manassas. Was very heavily populated with whites, and most poor, country people, farmers, and wasn't that friendly toward, and we was just deep enough south that we didn't get the full blunt, but deep enough to where most of the whites was like that.
You said that when you would go into Manassas, you were always called a boy, or?
Oh yeah. Oh well, that was not just Manassas. That was almost anywhere. Yeah, especially be like from the time I was like say 25 up to 25, and I'm talking about like when I was working in the grocery store. Most of my bosses, that's what they called me basically, And then after a while, as like I said, I was just a little bit rebelling. Then they would give me, I'm sorry, Mac, right? But it was automatic. I veered the N-word, talked a lot when I was working in the store, and because I think I might have told you, for the first 20 years of my work years, I worked as a lone black person by myself.
And this was at Grand Union?
That was at Grand Union, yeah. My 20 years of working with Grand Union, I worked the majority of those 20 years by myself and never worked with over 1 or 2 blacks in the store, consisting of probably 30 people.
So there was really no diversity in their workforce?
And, no. And, but I have to admit, now I was a pretty good-sized boy. I was an ex-football player, and I was an athlete. And during those years, I guess probably from the time I was 20 years old, I weighed over 200 pounds. Like 210, 205, thick, strong. And I really didn't have a bad time. You know, like I say, we would hire some of those real strong white boys from South, just moved up here, whatever, and they occasionally would jump with their mouth, but like 5 or 6 of them would be like, shh, you know, over there, and he kind of nasty, because he don't take it too easy, but no, but other than that, well, it's just hard for me to speak on it in a very negative way, because, like I said, I guess we were just blessed that we didn't have a lot of negativity. Now, like I said, I was raised up on 55 acres of land that was gave to my mother from her father, and the swimming hole, because we swim right in the creek, and the swimming hole, the major swimming hole, was on my mom's land, and everybody within probably 5 mile range walking distance. That's why we all came to swim. During the summer when school's out, black, white. I remember before integration, we used to go to Centerville, and the white boys would let us come over to the school and play basketball.
To their school?
Yeah, to their school and play basketball. You know, mix them up. We would mix and pair them up, and that's the kind of during that era. That's the kind of relationships that, my hometown. That's where we came up. You know, like I say, swam with them, played with them. I wouldn't necessarily say hung around with them, but as far as activities, you know, we used to have black baseball leagues, and almost every league had at least 1 or 2 white boys that came. They would come and ask, could they play with us? And they had leagues, but they wanted to play with us because we played better ball.
So these were local.
These were local boys from Manassas and Fairfax and Centerville, and they would actually come and ask us, could they play ball with us?
So were you part of this baseball league?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What was the name of your team?
The Bull Run Dodgers.
And you had whites on your team?
And we had a couple. Always had a couple. Always had a couple. Most of them was pitchers, and like I say, they would leave their league and come and play with us, or they would play both.
So who would come and watch these games? Was it interracial?
Only the white family of the white boy that played with us, but not. Well, when we used to go to Manassas over in the Oak area, a lot of whites would come then because there wasn't nothing over there for them to do. But everybody, just like baseball then was basketball today to blacks. Everybody played baseball. And if you got up on a Sunday morning, I always played on Sundays. If you got up on a Sunday morning after 9 o'clock, you were there by yourself. Because wherever the game were, and everybody had a team. Manassas, Centerville, which was us, Fairfax, every county had a baseball team.
Did Merrifield have a team?
Merrifield, oh yeah. Merrifield and Prince William, what was that little town? What was that little town between the school and Williamstown. Williamstown, yeah. Williamstown, yeah, they had a good team. Well, in fact, Merrifield had 2 teams. Yeah, Williamstown had a team, and Merrifield, what was they called? Black Sox or something. And then Halls Hill, the Arlington Athletics. You should be able to, because that was a huge organization. That was the team. It was a huge organization.
So this was all part of Northern
Virginia? This was all a part of Northern Virginia. Yep. And we used to have our playoffs. Used to be at Ben Crosby Stadium in Front Royal. That's why we used to have our big playoff games at the World Series and things like that. Percival had a beautiful stadium. I can't think of the name of the stadium, but they had a beautiful stadium up there.
So this is what they call Sandlot?
Yeah. Well, it was a little above Sandlot. It was like if they categorized it, it would have equaled to a AAA.
Okay.
Yeah. We were serious ball players, okay. And it was a serious league, but it was formed by us. We didn't have any back-ends. We didn't have any sponsors. It was done by the black communities
in Northern Virginia.
Right, communities, right.
That's amazing.
And it was, and like I said, and we spread it out from as far as Fredericksburg, all the way to Charlestown, and all the surrounding areas. Knoxville, Fairfax, Falls Church, Arlington, Alexandria, some teams in D.C., but mostly Virginia areas.
Wow.
Every county had one.
So let's go back to your school age years. We know the schools were segregated.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the schools that your older brothers went to.
Right.
Versus what you went to.
Right. Well, my older brothers went to the same school my dad went to. And my dad said the only difference in it was they had sawdust floors. And they had wooden floors. Old, splintered wooden floors. I was talking to my brother, and I was thinking that I went to school there, but I didn't. And he told me why I felt like that. Well, back in those times, if you didn't have a babysitter, you could bring your siblings to school with you. And I used to go to school with them because I was the baby at that time, and I used to go to school with them. And that's why I got that idea that I started school there. But no, I didn't. I started school at 11 Oaks. And I was telling my cousins, because I was talking to him then, and he said, no, I can tell you why you felt like that. He said, because back then they would allow you to bring a sibling to school if your parents wasn't home. Not every day, but say your mom had to go to doctors or had a job or something, and she'd be back, and they would allow you to bring you to school.
So what was the difference between that school and 11 Oaks?
Well, 11 Oaks was a brand new school. Brand new. First year I went there, it was a brand new, beautiful, big school versus this little building. That school is actually still up. My brother said it was still up. The Cub Run. It's a church now, and I don't know what it is. Well, last I remember it was a church, but I still think he said it was still there. But it's right. It's called Cub Run.